Fighting frats and losing a dispute over how to punish a fraternity ends with the resignation of the dean of students. Is this a pattern? Now, when we dropped these videos last night, this also goes hand in hand with those highlight videos that we dropped in the video section last night. So when it comes to, we broke the news about Maryland halting fraternity and sorority events. Nobody's saying nothing. Local news is continuing to investigate to find out what's going on because the college isn't even saying anything as to what sparked it. Then you heard Virginia. Then you heard last night we dropped the news about WSU putting a hold on alcohol-related events. Then there was another bomb dropped last night again about not only Theta Chi not being formally recognized from WSU anymore as a fraternity, but also that Idaho ranked number 2 in safest colleges while the shit's going on right across the street. And anybody that knows that when I've gone there, I went there last November. And I'm telling you right now, I spent 7 weeks nonstop in both universities, and I'm telling you right now, it's shocking to me to see that WSU is putting a pause on fraternity and sorority alcohol-related events when I went there, WSU was calm as a mother. I mean, way more calmer than I even expected for them to be calm. And Idaho was off the fucking chain. So it's weird to me when I'm sitting here and I'm going, wait a minute, I've experienced those atmospheres, and you're telling me WSU, but yet a couple miles away where the shit's off the chain, they're the number 2 safest? Guess what? When you sit here and you see everything that we're uncovering the cover, going through, it'll make sense. You keep the call volume up, you make the bad calls be low, and you get the funding, the awards, the prestige, the hero status, the rank ups, and the promotions. Plentiful all over. You're swimming, you're like Scrooge McDuck swimming in gold fucking coins. This is from the gentleman here. Okay? This is what took place. I no longer believe this is an environment where I can work on issues of student safety, says Craig Chatrian. The dean of students said, the safety of our students is the primary concern of the dean of students office, and not being able to address concerns through our already established policies and agreements takes away the effectiveness of what this office can do. Discusses more about it. Greek alumni at Idaho have made similar threats over recent proposals to require first-year students to live in resident halls rather than Greek houses, because they don't want the suspension to jeopardize the donations. And when you see how much donations they made, 463 last year. 463,000, not $463. 463,000. Who benefits the most when it comes to the frats making the donations, just like the university? A dispute over how to punish a fraternity ends with the resignation of the dean of students. Is this a pattern? This was published March 5th, 2015. Tensions between University of Idaho administrators, the fraternity, and the chapter's alumni have ended with the university's dean of students suddenly announcing his resignation after less than 3 months on the job. Less than 3 months on the job. Just prior to the announcement, sanctions brought against the fraternity over hazing allegations were dropped. I no longer believe this is an environment where I can work on issues of student safety, Craig Chatwind, the dean of students, said. The state, and this was University of Idaho. The safety of our students is the primary concern of the dean of students' office, and not being able to address concerns through our already established policies and agreements takes away the effectiveness of what this office can do. In the last year, several colleges and universities have made serious attempts to rein in negative fraternity behavior. Guess what? It's happening all over again. Punishing fraternities can be a messy process. However, placing student affairs employees in the crosshairs of Greek organizations and their powerful alumni in some cases to lose such a battle also means, and hold on, let me switch it here, also means it's also time to find a new job. In September, Clemson University suspended all fraternity activity after sophomore fell from a bridge to his death during what his parents believed to be a hazing ritual. Just before winter break, the official who pushed for that decision, Gail DiSabatino, the university's well-respected vice president of student affairs, was suddenly replaced without explanation. In response to her departure, fraternity members on campus sang "Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead." Whoa. When Clemson previously discussed a ban of fraternity and sorority social activities in 2010, Greek alumni emailed the university saying such a suspension would jeopardize donations to the university. Some faculty and students had speculated that similar threats had been made to leading to DiSabatino's departure, but Robin Denny, Clemson's director of media relations, said those comments were unfortunate and uninformed. Greek alumni at Idaho have made similar threats over recent proposals to require first-year students to live in resident halls rather than Greek houses. Keep the bad calls down. Look, rookie, you ain't learned this shit yet. You need to learn it while you live there before you fucking come here, because when you come here and learn, then you affect our donations, and Papa Green don't like you affecting our donations, so you just stay put over there. Kevin Kruger, president of NASPA Student Affairs Administrators in Higher Education, said making these kinds of unpopular decisions put student affairs employees right in the fire line. No one no one's out to get fraternities, but administrators are doing what they think is best for students, Kruger said. There continues to increasingly be very low tolerance for chapters that aren't able to conform to policy. At the same time, you're probably going to get phone calls from alumni. It's a very politicized environment. Yes, it is. My hope is that the campuses are doing the right thing for students and not bending to the interest of a single group of alumni who may be over. Look, motherfucker, we're a booster. We're a booster. You better fucking do what we want. And we're also gonna hang out on that Twitch stream and pay for cute girls as dinners and get mad when they got boyfriends. Catherine Aiken, the University of Idaho's provost and vice president, said the university does not place alumni interest ahead of the safety of students. Our biggest concern is the welfare of the students, Aiken said. That's uppermost in our mind. I think the Greek community shares that commitment to that welfare and development. I think we are all in agreement that this place is where the safety of students is of paramount importance. With houses that are privately owned and located off campus, Idaho fraternities, like many across the country, are notoriously difficult to police. One university official described them as holding tremendous power as they have experienced a number of tragedies, controversies, and lawsuits in recent years. Within weeks of each other in 2009, two students were seriously injured in falls from upper story fraternity windows. It happened again at another Idaho fraternity in 2011 and again in 2012. A student celebrating his 21st birthday in 2010 took at least 15 shots in less than 3 hours and died of alcohol poisoning in his fraternity house. In 2013, a freshman wandered away from a fraternity party and froze to death under a bridge. Later that year, a University of Idaho student who was sentenced to 15 years in prison for R-ing another student in the bushes behind a fraternity house as a party continued inside. That's so sad. In February, the Dean of Students office found the fraternity Phi Gamma Delta to be in violation of the university's hazing policies. The fraternity quickly agreed to accept the sanctions proposed by the office as part of the agreement. Freshman members were no longer allowed to live in the house, and the chapter was put on probation for 3 years. At Idaho, Greek organizations accused of violating university rules have the choice of having their case be heard by the Greek Community Standards Board or simply having the dean of students decide the sanctions. The dean, Jimmy Neutron, decides the punishment now. Give me a fucking break. Don't do it again, guys. Don't make me come in the back seat. 80s kids. Phi Gamma Delta originally agreed to the latter, but the fraternity later changed its mind and asking instead of the case for it to be heard by the Greek Community Standards Board, a panel that is comprised nearly entirely of Greek students and alumni. The Standard Board rarely decides cases as serious as hazing, university officials said, but after the fraternity members said they thought the original process was unfair, Phi Gamma Delta was a lot. Somebody got art in your fucking bushes, dude. Phi Gamma Delta was allowed to withdraw its acceptance of the sanctions. There are no rules saying hazing allegations cannot be handled by the board. The decision came after the provost's office received several phone calls and emails from the chapter's alumni. Aiken said the original investigation into an allegation still stands, but the Greek Community Standards Board will use that investigation to make recommendations about what they think transpired and what the appropriate sanctions are. She said she disagreed with the suggestion that the fraternity alumni directly influenced the decision. I'm sure they did. The University of Idaho has a long history of vibrant Greek community, right? They all rank up and they all get awards together. Aiken said, "We're always interested in what our alumni are thinking and are open to providing them any input on the topic, but ultimately the university is responsible for student welfare, not the alumni." Yeah, the alumni will tell you, "This is what we want fucking done. Make sure it gets done. Otherwise, my money goes somewhere else," right? The University of Idaho would not allow any alumni bullshit. The University of Idaho would not allow any alumni to unduly influence any decision it makes. My ass. John Bradbury, a lawyer for the fraternity, also denied that the state's fraternity alumni had any outsized influence on how the university will sanction the chapter. Instead, Bradbury said the alumni just conveyed that they thought the case should have been handled by the Greek Community Standards Board from the start. The alumni don't run the university, the rules run the university. Bullshit. And Bradbury didn't say that, I did, but he did say what I read, but bullshit. Chat Rand explained that he didn't think he was able to fulfill his job. We didn't think he fulfilled his job as it should have been fulfilled either. Yeah, because he didn't listen to yeah, we get it. We know what you're saying, Bradbury. He didn't go along with what the fuck we wanted, and so we got his ass out of here. On social media this week, other students and alumni reacted to the news with surprise and disappointment. While Chat Ryan had only been dealing with students since January, he had worked at the University of Idaho for 5 years. I suspect his decision to leave wasn't easy and was one he felt was morally right. Yeah, come on, man. Come on, man. One recent graduate wrote on Facebook, "I actually question why the administration didn't back him or." Wow, listen to this. One recent graduate, "I actually question why the administration didn't back him or support his opinion. I worry that the next dean of students will follow the direction of the administration with no question. After all, it's a good old boys club." Oh, look at that. Look at that quote. After all, it's a good old boys club. What is uncovering the cover doing? It's uncovering the good old boys club by Jake New.